strategy.
Herzlichen Dank.
Thank you very much. And now on behalf of the European Conservatives and Reformists, Mrs. Girling has 3 minutes.
Thank you, President. I would like to very strongly welcome this report on behalf of my group. I'm involved in the Parliament with waste management via my membership of the Environment Committee, and I have to say how interesting and refreshing it was to read this report from a slightly different perspective, because it does take out a lot of the what I guess I could call vested interests, and by that I mean that in the nicest possible way. People who have their views and they've had them a long time and they've worked very hard to get what they want through. Sometimes difficult to lift your head up and look at the big picture. So a report such as this I think is really very useful. And of course it is about a subject which very clearly and very closely touches all of the people that we represent. There are very few subjects for me as a constituency MEP that I get quite so much passion from my voters as waste management. And I do feel that it's an area on which we, the European Parliament, stand to be judged. Because if we do not get it right and if we don't make sure that we enforce, then all of the talking that we do here comes to nothing. And all of that is encompassed in this very interesting and useful report. There are, of course, huge differences in the way that Member States deal with the problem of rubbish. And I actually welcome the fact that we have those differences. I welcome the fact that this report recognises very strongly the issue of subsidiarity. It's about a waste framework directive. And many of you will remember my predecessor, the lady that I have replaced in this Parliament, Caroline Jackson, who was the rapporteur on the Waste Framework Directive. And one of the principles that she was very keen on espousing was that Member States should be allowed as much subsidiarity as possible within the framework of tight and challenging targets. And I know from recent conversations with her that she is extremely disappointed that, having given that freedom, Member States are not delivering, because we are not making those targets. And where we need to really tighten up, and it's in this report, is not on a whole raft of new regulations, but is on making those that we currently have work better and work more effectively. A framework is just that. And if we don't get within our Member States working towards those frameworks, I was really shocked in here for my own Member State to see how many infringements there are, because I thought we were doing okay. So in that sense, this is a great report for bringing that home. Just on one point, I'm happy to defend nuclear energy. There are a couple here, but it has to be done with good technology, tightly controlled. And the same is the case for incineration. Thank you.
Herzlichen Dank.
Thank you. The next speaker, on behalf of the Confederal Group of the European United Left, is Mr. Huntis for a minute and a half.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Colleagues, now the report by Mr. Angulo